Hello, 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 everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Today is an exciting live stream. Why? Because we are kicking off our Light Seers Tarot study. That's right, kicking that off. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and start the intro because we got a lot to cover. We got a lot to cover. So let's get to it. Hi, everyone. I hope you guys can hear me okay. Let me know if you can't hear me or if there's an issue. You know the drill. You know the drill on these here YouTube streaming streets. So, yay, we are here. We are here. Light Seers Tarot Study. I'm so excited. So excited. Thank you all so much for joining today. Yes. Hi, Tarot fam. So glad you guys are here. Hey, hi, guys. Hi, guys. Oh, my goodness. All my friends are here. Yay. Okay. Are you guys as excited as I am about doing this particular tarot study? Because I'm really excited. And the reason being is that I work with this deck Let's do it. Okay, I'm back. Yep, frozen. Of course. I could feel today was going to be a weird internet day. I could just feel it because it was hiccuping just doing basic stuff. So hopefully we can get through this without a hitch. Is it still frozen on your end? Can you not see me? If not, way out and go back in. Oh, you're back. Okay. Thank you, Jonathan. Yay. Okay, we back. So I work with the My Seers Tarot every single day. There is not a day that I don't work with this deck. So that is slightly different than, oh, it's frozen. Oh, I'm back. Am I back or am I frozen? If I'm back, yay. And if I'm not back, then I will go all the way out of StreamYard and go back in and see if that works. Um, Light Seers is different than the past tarot studies we've done. And the reason being is because the other decks that we've done, like the Herb Crafter's Tarot is one example, the Antique Anatomy is another example. Those decks I wanted to get familiar with, like right, probably like with you all, like right along, maybe it was a deck you didn't always use. This is different. This is the Light Seers, and I think many of us probably use it a lot. So it's going to have a different feel this tarot study. Okay, so that is, I'm so excited. So one thing I wanted to do though, and I pray that me sharing my screen doesn't freak everything out, is I want to do an honorable mention. I can. Oh, I'm afraid. I'm really afraid. I wanted to announce a new channel. A new channel. So let me see if I can do this. Let's see if I can share my screen. Will it let me? Maybe not. Maybe it won't. But ScholarBot, and I put her link in the description. I'm going to also put her ScholarBot Tarot. I'm going to put her channel name here. Here she is, ScholarBot Tarot. Because I want to start putting out the word on new channels. So I'm going to put it in the chat. Hold on. ScholarBot. She's got a new channel. It's good stuff. I'm excited to see what's to come. And I was going to share the screen, but I think I'll save showing. I'm going to save it because I don't know what's going on with the internet out here today. So, okay, if it keeps freezing, I will just have to, I don't know what I'm going to do. Let me see. Can you guys let me know if it's showing, if it's doing weird stuff? Let me know, because if so, I'm going to end the broadcast and restart it. Because I'm so like tired of the internet stuff. Okay, well, hopefully it's working. I know on the replay it should, like what's cool about StreamYard is that it kind of smooths out stuff. So when you upload it and you show the video later, it seems to work. Okay. Oh, thank you, Jonathan. Thank you for keeping me in the loop. All right, let's get on to it. So, tarot setting. Now, in the past, we've done different time frames, right? We've experimented with no time frame with the Herb Crafter's Tarot. I just was like just doing it on a whim, and it stretched over several months. No one was really participating in that. It was whatever. Then we tried with the Herb Crafter's Tarot. I can't remember how long that one was. 12 weeks sounds about right, I think. Then we had the Hoodoo Tarot, which was like 8 weeks. And now we're here at the Light Seers Tarot. And I really wanted it to be 4 weeks long. But as I started to build out the tarot study, the work that we're going to be doing, and just wanting to cover it in a certain kind of way, I realized I can't get it at 4 weeks. So it's going to be like 6 weeks. But this today, the kickoff, this is a week. So this is like week 1, but it's really low key. It's low key. Next week is really the official time that we get started with our work. So I'll show you what I'm talking about in a moment as I share the screen. So it's because we're going to do it like this. We're going to have the majors as the first week that we focus on in the Facebook group, right? Then the next week, we're going to focus on the wands, followed by the cups the next week, then the swords the following week, and then the pentacles the last week of the tarot study. So that's how we're going to do it. Each time I do a tarot study, I'm experimenting with different ways of delivery. And so we're going to try it this way. And I tried to make it 4 weeks. It just wasn't going to work because I have to be able to deliver the content, and I want to be able to participate with you all in the tarot study. I don't want it to be where I'm just dumping the work and I can't participate in joy. So that's extended out a bit. But here's the thing, you only have to really commit to 2 weeks of actively working with the deck. Many people, though, they do the full duration of the tarot study. Hello, hi, Kim. Oh, thank you for joining. And Jonathan brings up, okay, as soon as my thing, to the tarot study at any point. You can start it at any time. You can, it doesn't have to start now. This is just the time that I'm doing it. And this is like the kickoff time. But the tarot study itself, any deck that we've done a tarot study for, it is evergreen. That means that you can start the tarot study a year from now. So we have people starting Hoodoo Tarot study, like this year. Like I saw someone on my website perusing the Hoodoo Tarot study materials and the posts that I did over at the website. I can see that people are still interested in that. I see people from time to time look at the Antique Anatomy or the Herb Crafters, but the Hoodoo Tarot is a popular one. People come later, and that's okay. You don't have to do the tarot study right now. I invite you and encourage you to do it when you can. With that being said, it's also pressure free. In the past, I felt like people were feeling pressure, and I don't want people to feel pressure. That's not the name of the game over here. Okay, there's a couple of things. I don't want you to feel pressure to buy this deck or any deck that we do for the tarot study. The tarot study is designed for those who want to be a part of a tarot study to use the decks that they have. That's one of the things that's really important to me. You don't have to have the deck. I sometimes like seeing what other people post for the deck that they're using and focusing on for 6 weeks, for example. I love seeing their cards. So let's say we're focusing on the Wands week, right? And you're showing your deck and you're showing the cards you're using. It's an opportunity to compare, right, and contrast and to learn from another deck that we don't have. So don't feel like you have to A, go buy a deck, B, you have to drop everything and do the tarot study. It's supposed to be low pressure and low to no buy. Now, if you are called to buy the Light Seers and this is the golden opportunity for you to dive into it, fine, knock yourself out. That's okay. But many of us already have the tarot, this particular tarot deck. Where are you? Where are you, girl? Many of us have it. Like I have it. So I'm not gonna. That's the other thing is people volunteer amazing decks for tarot study. But to stick to my personal belief about not running out to go buy new decks just for the sake of just doing it, I'm only going to lead tarot studies with decks that I already possess, unless I'm really, really called to buy one. Like I might make that exception for, say, like the Tarot of the Abyss. Okay. So yeah. But I still want you guys to make your recommendations because there's a couple of decks that you guys have made recommendations on that I don't own the decks yet. And it's like, oh, I'm curious about it. So what I've started to do in the meanwhile is started looking at videos, walkthroughs of particular decks that you guys have recommended for the next tarot studies. A deck that I'm called to either A, put on my wish, or actually go ahead and buy it. Okay. Yay, you're here. Thank you for joining. I'm glad you're here. Look at all these folks here. Thank you. Yes, I'm going to be probably going back as well through the Hoodoo Tarot study because I want to reconnect. I've been so busy. I have not been able to really work with my Hoodoo Tarot study or really do the type of work that I do with it lately because like I said, I've been so busy. But I'm hoping that I can come back to it. So yes. So I wanted to make sure I make those points known. Got to make those points known. You're not obligated, right, to buy a deck or to stick it out. 2-week commitment means you are working with the deck daily, and you could either demonstrate that working with the deck daily in the Facebook group, or you could do it like on a weekly basis. Some people would say, they would do one long post in the Facebook group and kind of detail or break down how they work with the deck, day to day over the course of the week, if that's easier for you. Or some people, it's easier for them to just post it as they're working with it. That's how I kind of operate because it's just like while I'm thinking about it, I post it on there. And all I ask is that you tag your post with the tarot study that you are working on. This is how they all lump together in the Facebook group at Abundant Life Tarot group. If you tag it. So the tag will be Light Seer's Tarot Study. That's the tag we're using for this tarot study. But, people are still tagging for the Hoodoo Tarot Study. So there's a whole bank of posts that are divided up by our tags on the side of the Facebook group. In a moment, I'm going to be showing and telling with you all to give you a lay of the land of the Facebook group, of the schedule that we've got going on, of the blog posts on the website. So if you're new to it, you're watching this video several months from now, you'll know where to go. Yes. Oh, so let me make sure I've got all the important points to make about our commitment. I think so. Now, in the past, I have created videos on the YouTube channel to support the tarot study. I did that with all of the decks that we've used in the tarot study, all 4. So this is our 4th tarot study. I love tarot studies, so much fun. It's like, I feel like it's summer camp for us, except it's not summertime and it's not really camp, but it's that feeling like you're getting ready to go and you're going to be around real cool people and you're excited. It's like that. But I lost my train of thought. Anyways, I just want the content, the video content. I've always made videos for the tarot study. That's what I've done and I like to do. This particular tarot study, since it's 6 weeks, I'm only going to do just probably a limited series, and it's going to be on the court cards of the Light Seers. People were mentioning in the Facebook group that it's the court cards that they struggle with the most. And I understand that the court cards are the ones that we struggle with just in general, whether it was the Light Seers Tarot or not, right? So I'm excited about formulating a series for just the court cards. If you all are so inclined, you can create videos yourself using the Light Seers, maybe using some of the spreads that the deck has. You could put it in, you can post and share in the Facebook group, or you could do it on your YouTube channel and then just share the link, however you wish to do. I'm not one of those people that you can't share or show different videos in the Facebook group. I can't do it all. I cannot. And I don't want to. I want it to be a collaborative effort. So that's what I'm going to do. I love what I did for the Antique Anatomy Tarot, which was I took inspiration from the guidebook and I did a focus on numerology on one video, another on color associations, another one on corresponding cards. I loved that. So this time around, we're going to be focusing just on the courts or the videos that I make for the channel. So yeah, thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. It's like the Hoodoo Tarot. I'm gonna have some frank moments with you guys today. The Hoodoo Tarot, I love that deck. I love the tarot study that we did. You can tell how much everyone loved that tarot study by the sheer number of posts that was associated with it. It was like 404 posts between all of us working on it. And thankfully with Facebook, they number how many. So you can tell how popular it was, but it was challenging because I was doing that tarot study during the time. Hi, Tony. During the time when I moved out here last year, when I relocated and said I'm going to live abroad. And my feelings got hurt when someone made a complaint. They made a complaint saying I wasn't putting the video content out fast enough. But truly, you guys know, those who know me and been following my channel and my journey, you know the struggle I've been having with internet. You know probably the struggle I was having living in our temporary housing. And so it hurt my feelings because it's like, it's not easy. Many of you guys are content creators who are in the chat, and you know, like it takes sometimes a lot to make videos, to plan them out. But I think it hurt my feelings because I wanted to be able to put the content out fast for you guys, like I used to when I was in the States. but it was just like I couldn't. So I started to get real with myself and make sure that I'm not overextending myself. So that's why I said, okay, for this tarot study, I'm going to ask people what area of this deck do they struggle with. They said the courts. So that's the video content I'm going to create here on the channel and share it in the Facebook group. So yeah, I had to share that because I like to be authentic with you guys and kind of let you know what's going on. Oh no, that's okay. That's fine. The replay gang, I love y'all just as much as my folks who are here. Yes, yes, yes. Let's see. Yes, I am excited about the Tarot of the Abyss. It's been on my wish list well before it was released. Like when Anna was still creating the artwork. But again, I moved out here. I'm real picky about having decks being shipped out here on an island. I'm like real particular about it. So I'm gonna probably pull the trigger. My mother-in-law gifted me some money, and she always is so kind. She'll be like, "Oh, I know you want to buy one of those decks." So I have a little extra spending money to buy a new deck. So the Tarot of the Abyss will probably be one that I add to the collection soon. Yes, Tony's here. Oh yes, yes. So the Tarot of the Abyss, I was planning on pairing with my first edition Oracle of Echoes. I don't have the second edition. I understand that the second edition has additional cards, which I'm a little jealous of. But y'all know I'm not trying to ship no independent deck over here if I can help it. I backed a deck last year, and I think they're shipping out soon. And I'm like, oh, prayers up for my deck. Prayers up. Prayers up. So, hello. Hi, the Oracle Throne. I'm happy you are here. Thank you. Hey, tribal woman joining us today. What? The outright cheek. If your content is just right to present quality, it takes time. Thank you. It hurt my feelings, man, Tony. I'm not I was like, I think I saw the video, or when I saw the comment on one of the videos, it was like right before I ended up contracting the big C. And so whenever I'm about to fall ill, like a big illness, I get very weepy and emotional. And I was like, I was like, she's right though. She's right. And I was like, but then after a while, I was like, no, I can only do what I can do. So I'll just set some appropriate expectations next time. But she was like, oh, my mom and I were going to do the tarot study, and then it didn't come through. Sorry. And it was like the way she said it, I was like, I'm one of those people that is very cautious about my words, whether I'm saying them or writing them. And when I'm leaving a comment on somebody's channel, you're in their house, so to speak. So I'm super, super careful. And I want to always feel like we are together in this. And so when I get comments every now and then, I am human. I do see them, and my feelings get hurt. Hello. Thank you for joining. I'm so happy you guys are here. It's going to cover all my spending. Ooh, the alley man is going to cover all my spending needs and put an end to further purchases. Yeah, we always got to have that one deck that's like, okay, once I get you, I think I'm done for a while. Hey, Sonia. Yay. No problemo. And so that's the other thing. So the court cards, I'm going to be doing a little series on. So excited. I've already started doing my work. I'll show you the book that I'm inspired by for it. Aside from the guidebook from the Light Seers. But I will be doing periodic live streams. That's what I aim to do, so we can kind of touch base. I did enjoy doing that with the Hoodoo Tarot, and I think we may have done it once with the Antique Anatomy. But the Hoodoo Tarot was necessary because I could tell we were getting into some heavy stuff with the Hoodoo Tarot naturally, as you'll see with the post. I know myself personally, like it was alongside my journey to moving abroad during the pandemic. So yeah, a lot of stuff was bubbling up for me. So the court cards, I'm going to be using this book, The Tarot Dictionary and Compendium by Jonna Wiley. And I've already started tabbing. Can't see the tabs really. Great information from our tarot greats. They're inspiring me for that video series. Also, I think I have on my Kindle, I think I might have a book that's specifically devoted to courts. But also, but this little magic thing right here, this chunky bit of information, this is also going to be helping me as well with this tarot study and with the court card series. This is really good. And if you have the mass market deck, which I have here too, that's in there. It has a great little guidebook. It's just a shorter, condensed version, and you all can help me. Whoever has the independent version, you can probably help me co-sign on this. But it's just a smaller. Oh, I have it. Hold on. There we go. So this is Hay House. This is Indie, and I was doing kind of like a comparison of the two to see what may have been lacking. And honestly, this is really just, this is all you need. And I think even the same spreads that are found in this one. So I think you are, no. Okay, there I am, I'm back. Unless you're one of those people that were like, I needed the original 10 of Swords. I needed that. And I wanted that. But you really, other than that small group of folk, you're not missing out. Okay? See? And I will most likely, just so y'all know, I'm showing off today because I never get to pull this baby out. I never get to pull it out. Hey, Debbie. Hi. I'm showing off this indie version, but I will be probably just using my mass market because I use it for client readings and it's always easy to grab. But yeah, she had to come out tonight. She just had to. I love her. So before I show you guys the screen, I'm scared to show you guys the screen. I think before I take you through the parts that I want to show you, like the Facebook group, the tracking schedule that I created for this that you can download. I'll show you all that stuff at the end because the internet's a little shaky. But let's go through some of the cards that you all mentioned that were like a little bit challenging and that we're going to probably pay special attention to when they come up in the tarot study in the Facebook group. But I thought we could talk about them today and let's get ourselves ready. So I asked you guys to share with me cards that you're like, what's going on here? Let's see what you guys are saying. So I asked you guys in the community tab as well as in the Facebook group. The Facebook group was like the courts, and I think there was a couple of other suggestions that aligned with what was the comments in the community tab on the channel. Okay, you're gifted the mass market. Yeah, and I use the mass market all the time. I actually find it slightly easier to shuffle and handle than I do. Well, riffle shuffling, surprisingly, I can do this one a little bit better in smaller sections than I can with the mass market. But the mass market is great for my overhand shuffling and my jumping style because y'all know I use jumping cards. So yeah, I love to see both indie. Oh, did I do a video? I intended to do a video back in the day when I got them. Myrna, I will double check my channel and see if I have a mass market walkthrough. I know other people have done it and I thought for sure I did. It might be It might be the unboxing of the mass market. I did 2 unboxings, obviously. One for the indie version and then one for the mass market. And I want to say the mass market might be alongside deck because there are some changes, small changes. Obviously, the Ten of Swords, but like the Hierophant is like the Seeker. I forgot. I don't have it available, but there's slightly changes, but it's nothing. It's negligible. It's negligible. I have 3 of the mass market. The cutting is, oh my gosh, hello. Like, okay. So this will be, I have a new copy. So I had the first issue, the cutting, like where the cards were all uneven. When Hay House just hurried up and put it out. So I had that deck, had that one. Gave that to my son because he was like, I don't care about the uneven edges. And he doesn't use jumpers. So he was like, whatever. So then I got another copy, the one, the beat up one. Look, it's so bad. It's so bad. This one, but I'm not ready to retire it just yet. So I still use it. And I have a backup that traveled with me from California to here on the island. So it's there on my shelf. So in case when I'm ready to retire this one, I have a backup one. So that, yeah, I relate to the 3 mass markets. And then of course I have the indie. So really I've been well invested into the Light Seers Tarot. Well invested. See, thank you. Mass market is just fine. I almost encourage it because, well, I mean, if you can luck up and get, I don't know what the indie market is doing right now. I haven't really been in like the tarot marketplace lately. So I don't know the availability, but mass market is just fine. Hi, Patrice. I bought the mass market especially for this training. I must admit, you do like, oh, yay. And see, if you are called to buy it, and this was, and I think it's great. Congrats. I'm glad you're smitten. I hope so. Anywho, let's look at some of these cards here. The first one I wanted to talk about, not because I misunderstand this card, but just because I know that people were talking about the pregnant empress. And how people feel about pregnancy and all of that stuff. And I certainly have plenty of decks in my collection that doesn't have the empress, or a pregnant woman is not representing the empress. But I don't know. I just really like her. So the rest of the cards are going to be the struggle cards, but this is just one I'm like, I actually really like her. I really like her. I would show you my pregnant woman. Oh, I can't lift her. She's got crystals all over. I'll leave her be. So what do you all think about this Empress card? What like when you see it, what comes to mind? What do you like about this card? What could you do without on this card? What's some important symbols that represent the Empress to you? I also appreciate a simple thing like Chris Ann, the creator, including the number 3. She actually numbered the cards. So in little details. Chris Ann is a genius. I'm going to say it, y'all. Some people might want to disagree. I'm going to say it because the other night I was chatting with my friend, the Oracle Throne. We were chatting about the symbols found in this deck, and that there will be times I look closely and I'll do like this, and I'm like, oh wait a minute. I'll be like this. Oh my gosh, I just recognized another symbol that I didn't notice before. I just started using it and going with my intuition and also my card knowledge of the meanings for the tarot meanings. But every now and then I'll pause for a minute and slow down and look at the cards. But I love her earth belly. Love her earth belly. Creativity. I think the Empress is pretty in this deck. It isn't how I read the Empress, but it doesn't keep me from using this deck. Exactly. Like, I think of, when I think of the Empress card, fostering a nurturing environment for sensuality. To me, she definitely embodies that. Birth, of course, you could say literally childbirth, but it's typically the birth of something you've been really, it's a labor of love. It's got a gestational period. If you're dealing with timing, you can associate the Empress with the, where's my little cheat sheet? So the Empress is like, for me, springtime. So, you know what I mean? So there's all these different things. And then Earth Mother, what part of the planet is she showing? I don't know. I'd have to look. Let me see. I like the way the moon seems to connect with her world belly. Ah, look at that. Look at that. Wait, over there. Ah, that receptivity. Because that's when I think of the moon. When I think of the sun, I think of yang energy, action, going forward. Moving forward, and then I think of the lunar, the influence is being receptive, and that's what I think of and associate with the Empress card. Finding out the moon, you see what I'm saying? Like, I'll be like, and her hair is actually little tree branches. At first, I thought they were just dreadlocks, but then I was like, oh, it's little tree branches. And Gaia. Oh my gosh, I want to show you guys my statue, but you guys have seen the statue. Like, I'm not the only one that owns it. But Gaia. I bought the deck after seeing a couple of cards. Yeah, I love it, right? Like, it's fully illustrated for those who love fully illustrated decks. It's really pretty. It's modern. My clients resonate a lot with the images. They chime in more comfortably than when I have the Rider-Waite-Smith, which is, I don't feel like getting it. But they chime in more. It doesn't feel so off-putting for them. And I enjoy it. I enjoy taking pictures of the images. I don't know. I just love it. I concur, Chris. Thank you. Thank you. She's a genius. Like, her guidebooks, you guys, she's not only a gifted artist, she's a gifted writer. I mean, and just talented, because I guess she has a graphic design background, is what I learned recently by taking one of her workshops. And I was introduced to Chris Ann's work when I bought the Sacred Creators Oracle, the indie version. And her guidebook is everything in that deck. So when she was like, I'm coming out with two tarot decks. So she created 2 tarot decks and launched them at the same time on Kickstarter. It was the Light Seers and the Muse. And I was like, well, I want it both. I'm kind of mad at myself because I haven't gotten the tarot. Is it Tarot of Curious Creatures? Because I'm such a Chris Ann fan that I want all her decks. I want all her decks as a part of my collection. But I'll get it. It's on my wish list. I'll get it eventually. But after doing a lot of work with myself, I now know how to pause and not just impulsively buy decks now, which I'm very proud of myself. Very proud. So even for Chris Ann, I can't be rushing out and buying things until I'm ready. But yeah, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Yeah, she's awesome. And she's an incredible human being. Oh my gosh, she is. The way she handled the Light Seers, Ten of Swords issue, which I didn't, it's so crazy. When she was creating the artwork, like none of us, because she would show the artwork as she was creating it. I didn't think anything of it. I thought the original Ten of Swords, I'll show you all in a minute, I thought it was great. But then when the deck launched and people started showing it, it was just like people weren't having it. And she just was so kind and gracious. She handled it better than I would. She was a bigger person. I was like, hey, no, I want the card in there. And she was just like, no, I'm not going to have it in there. If it hurt people, it offended, I'm not going to do it. I don't know if I would have been as gracious. You guys may think I'm nice, but sometimes I have a little like, nah, I'm going to do what I want to do. Like she even divides it up with the swords. Look at this. She's got the element of air associated with communication, thought, observation and perception, logic and strategy. The mind, challenges, elemental, sylphs, and winged things. Just amazing. Hey, MA. Thank you. I don't mind this one because it isn't a literal pregnancy, right? You know, I have been the woman who gave birth, literal childbirth, several, but I also had very difficult challenges, not so much with fertility, but with carrying a baby to full term. And back when had a significant loss, I had one miscarriage at 12 weeks, and then the next baby I had an emergency C-section at 32 weeks, and he didn't make it because I had a placenta abruption. And it's a rare thing that happens when the placenta tears away prematurely. Like the oxygen that you get when you're a baby is through the placenta. And so when it detached, Devin, that's his name, he was without oxygen for at least 25 minutes at least. That's how long it took. Like it was fast, so we got to emergency and got us, but it was too late. And so he lived for 6 weeks and then he passed. And if I saw this card back then, I probably would cry. I probably would be really upset. I used to deal with envy. Like my sister-in-law at the time, she and I were pregnant. We had the same due date, and her son was born at full term. It was just a really hard time. So I can relate to women or anyone who has an issue with this idea. But I look at the other meetings, and I can appreciate a pregnant one, and I can appreciate when an artist decides not to use the pregnant one, So just sharing on that. But I get it. I get it. I get it. I'm honestly not a big fan of this Empress, right? And there's other people who are like, that's a no for me, but I can work with it. I like birthing something into the world. Me too. Definitely enjoy nurturing aspect portrayed though. Me too. Like, okay, this card came out recently in a client reading, and it was like, it's time for you to foster a sense of nurturing for yourself, some more self-love. And so it was like, okay, this helped when this card came up. All right, let's see what else you all are saying. Love the pregnant empress, birthing all aspects of the world. Yes. Oh, yes. That's good. Good stuff. I agree. My clients love this deck too. And they definitely chime in, right? I will try different decks to see like which ones they chime in more on. And they always chime in on that because I think it feels like, oh, this isn't what I'm used to seeing on like pictures of tarot cards. Is the blue wrap water and with fish? Yeah, look, you know what? I'm gonna show you guys. Does it look like? Yes. There's water and fish. It's like ocean. You know what it kind of looked like from afar? It looked like blue wings, but you're right. I don't even know. Can you see that? I'm reaching. It's fish. Pregnancy, not just pregnancy. And when I see schools of fish, I think super fertile. I voted. Oh, yes. Yes. I voted for mystical moments, but I've enjoyed studying this deck. I've edged it. Oh, what color did you edge it? I love seeing what colors people edge their decks because you guys are amazing. I get inspired by that. And why not? Definitely with the mass market, go right ahead. I also, Patrice, just so you know, I wouldn't have been mad if the Tarot Mystical Moments won, to be honest, because I was like, that was one I want to get to know more. I know this one, but I'm really, apparently I don't, because I'm looking at this, I'm like, there's little fish. Like, I didn't even notice the fish. Chris Ann is so nice in the correspondences that I've had with her. It feels very genuine. It does. She genuinely, just when she reaches out, very nice. She's so nice. I felt bad after I did that, like the Ten of Swords video, because we had it like a little exchange. Nothing bad, nothing at all. She just kindly, she took time to reach out and explain her position, and she didn't need to, because I understood her position. I just could be a little like, no, they need to leave you alone. I just felt instantly protective of her and her creation. But she was standing on her own, and she was so kind. But I felt like shame. Not she didn't shame me, but it was me. Like, I was like, I made the Light Seers Tarot video at the Ten of Swords, and there's all these people who were like mad that she took it out, took the Ten of Swords. So I felt bad, but you know, I just wanted her to know I supported her in whatever endeavor she decided to do with that card. That's what I'll say. I bought it. I don't like it. Oh, the Tarot of Mystical Moments. You know, I'm before I make a comment to this comment, I'm gonna see if that's what you're talking about, because I do have some thoughts on that. I'm obsessed with Muse and only got it originally. Ended up getting Light Seers when Hay House had big sale. I was just curious, but it has been such an amazing reader, and I adore it now too, right? Oh, so you only backed the Muse. I had struggled back and forth, and I was like, no, I'm just going to treat myself. I'm going to get both of them. And interestingly enough, I hardly use the Muse. I don't know. I need to start using it. In my mind, I thought it was going to be great for business readings, and it may be. I just need to pull them out. That's the problem when you have so many decks. About the creatures. Oh, I can't connect. Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay, I wondered. So and that could be my hesitation. Like, am I just getting this deck because I want to have her whole collection and I'm a fangirl and that's what I'm doing here? Or is there a real purpose? Now, I did a spread to ask if the Tarot of Curious Creatures should come into my collection. But it was like, yeah, but again, I might have to revisit that spread. And also the spread had indicated to me you don't need to rush with that purchase. So I didn't. Look, I gotta block a person. A bot. Okay. I kind of wish she had made the new version, but also kept the old one in so that we could choose that we would use and we're comfortable with. And see, that was what I was aiming for. Like, I was like, well, I'm gonna, if there's any choice, I'm gonna campaign that the original stays. And if people were like, I will really like the other card, because this card is triggering to me. And I'll show you guys. This card is triggering to me. I don't want that one. And then I thought, oh, well, that would save her money. But she ended up shipping out the second Ten of Swords to everyone who got the original Ten of Swords. And for me, I would have been just fine just only having the original one. And so I thought, well, a nice compromise would be just send it to those who needed that second one. I see this Empress as Gaia. Yes, I do too. I do. And all that is associated with Gaia. Oh, yes. Thank you. I finally saw the troll. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm not used to this troll business. I'm like, what the hell? Thank you for sharing your story and being open and vulnerable with your experience. It's so challenging. Yeah, it was. I was only 20 at that time. So, and I never dealt with something like that, obviously, and I never dealt with such grief. But it has shaped me as a human being, as a mother, as just all. And so I try to share and just let people know I feel you, I'm here with you, I get it. But then I also do really appreciate the Empress for all the reasons Gaia, receptivity, nurturing, creativity. So, yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I was blessed that I had a great support system during that time, but yeah, it was a harrowing experience filled with guilt. I still to this day feel like what could I have done? And the doctors and counselors and everyone has assured me that there's nothing you could have done, there's nothing you did do. But when you are trying to birth something and you just have all this expectancy that everything's supposed to fall into place and be well and do well, and then it doesn't, that you can't help but wonder. And it's the same with anything, right? With birthing something. Sometimes things that you attempt at or try to create doesn't come to fruition. Reverse. Tree twigs in her hair, right? See, all it takes is just a moment. And so when we're doing the tarot study and we're posting our images, let's pause and take a moment and comment on the little details that we see in each of those cards. Sorry, late for the, hey, how are you? How are you doing, Anna? The lady could simply represent nature, the earth, that with water showering from behind, emotions, putting her soul into it. Oh, you guys are great. It can birth everything. That's right. That is right. All right. Thank you for joining. That's right. Greetings. Hi, Mrs. Matthews. How are you? I'm really not drawn to the curious creatures. That's interesting. I'm appreciating your honest opinions. If I was in the States, I'm gonna be honest, I probably would have been bought it. You know how you can get 2 hour shipping with Amazon? It probably, the moment it dropped, it would have been in my, but it's cool that I'm here because I can pause for a minute and think about my purchases. So let's move on because I could go on and on about these. The next one someone mentioned was the Justice card. Now, there's some traditional aspects about this card, right? I mean, we've got the scales. When you have it in reverse, you can see on one end she's looking down, like her eyes are like closed or cast down like this. And then up here, she's looking straight ahead at you. And so someone had posted the Justice card, and the comment was something to the effect of, whenever I get this card in a reading, it kind of stumps me. And I'll be honest with you all, when this card sometimes comes up for me, I just revert back to my understanding of the meanings, the traditional meanings, because sometimes I get a little stumped. Yeah, so I'm curious to hear what you guys have to think. And as I'm looking at this card now, I see there's little white dots and little black dots on each of the bolts. Didn't notice that before. It also looks like she's wearing a cute little leather jacket, and her leather jacket is blending into the woman's hair. What's that about? And so when I put the majors up this coming week for our tarot study, I'm going to really be honing in on this card to see what you all think and say about it, because I'm curious. I mean, of course, we can always look at the guidebook for instruction and guidance, but it's also interesting just to take a moment to see what our intuition has to say, see what others have to say about it, look at the symbols, and then check out the book. I see conscious, subconscious, and this justice. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Conscious and subconscious. Absolutely. Air and earth. Yes. Actually, from what I understand with the antique anatomy, is this one of the cards that she mentioned that is one of those dual elements? Could be. Or I might be confusing it with the judgment card. Could be. So we have the justice card. So I was like, yeah, I'm glad that someone mentioned it because this reminded me that I do really want to see what comes up for people next week when we talk about the majors. Because I'm curious. Then people were mentioning about, well, I'm going to just do the swords itself in a moment, but the Page of Cups. Oh, that's okay, Jonathan. No worries. No worries at all. The Page of Cups. Someone had mentioned the Page of Cups. They were like, I'm not understanding. I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it. And when this card comes up, sometimes I literally, I mean, again, I understand the Page of Cups meanings, but sometimes I look at this card and I will just look at the image and see what it's speaking to me, like bits and pieces of it, like the hair, for example. The hair is blowing up. It's even dyed. There's like, it's blue, red, and yellow blonde. Can you see that? You got a singing bowl. I can't point to a singing bowl over there by his feet. His feet is dangling from the sky. Kind of probably, he's up in the clouds. He's got pigs flying. Yeah, I can understand why people would take issue with the Page of Cups. I like the fact that she needs to close her eyes to see what's hidden, shadow self. Yes, that is also shown with the light dots and the dark dots on the bowls. I agree. She has to take a minute. Blind justice, I actually could see that. And I could see that. You have to sometimes, if it's truly being just, it is kind of blind. It should be blind, and you're only looking at, for example, the evidence that's before it. What's the weight of the evidence? You can't be biased. It has to be blind justice. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I see water too, a reflection. Justice needs the balance so much. Yes. Yeah, you almost can see all the elements. I like to also look at like the things like on their sword to see if there's anything I'm missing. As in some of the swords and some of the other cards, there's like little bits, and I don't really see anything that stands out. Yeah. Hi. Thank you for joining. Welcome. We're just doing the tarot study, getting our juices flowing and ready. There's a saying, pigs might fly, meaning being unrealistic. That's right. And that's what I was thinking, when pigs fly, or he's got his head in the clouds, he's a dreamer. He's got to, ground his dreams in, he's all in the new beginning phase of his dream, but is he grounded in a little bit of reality to make the dream come true? And I have a funny story. I tell you guys all the time about this card, but it's funny. And when somebody suggested or said this is the card that they struggle with, I laughed because one time I was doing a pandemic birthday party. It was like a Zoom, and I was the tarot reader. I was the main event, and some ladies were old friends. They hired me to do this for a girlfriend. And she was like, I have a random question. Should I do something different with my hair? And I think she was being kind of like a little bit like, I'm not sure. I'm not really buying this tarot reading thing or not. Like, and if I do something different with my hair, will I enjoy it? Will I like it? And this was the card that jumped. And at first I was like, I don't know, but all I could see was this guy's hair. And I was like, maybe it's time for you to add some bangs or something. And she's like, I was thinking about doing that. And I was like, well, it looks like it'll be a favorable thing for you. It looks like this will be a nice change for you. And literally, I was just like, when it popped up for her reading, and when it was her turn, I was like, yeah, go ahead. Look, all I could see was his hair. This one always confused me. Thought he came upon a hanged person. Weird vibe. I can't remember. Were you the one that mentioned about the Page of Cups? Somebody, was it you? Because somebody was like, I'm not feeling those dangling feet. So yeah, that's the Page of Cups. His energy all coming from his heart space, and his head is in the clouds. Yes, and you see that with this little heart. See it? Trying to reach. Yes, ungrounded. Ungrounded. Ha, rainbow hair. I wonder if she ended up dying and cutting her hair too. I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, it worked out because I was like, sometimes you get a card that like will come up in the reading. You're like, what? And then all you need to just find something. You want to keep the reading going. And I was like, oh yeah, please do your hair, dude. Change it up. You're gonna like it. All about this card is unrealistic. A lot of dreaming, but no action. In love with his own dreams. Yeah, and we can do that from time to time, can't we? We could definitely do that. Hey, Mrs. Gredson, welcome. Aw, thank you. It said, I like the little hair emoji. I thought it was just like, oh. So whenever I see that Page of Cups, I remember, like, okay, take a moment, take a step back, and look in the image for the clues. And it never fails me when I approach this particular card in that way. All right. He's an airhead. Yes, he is. He's a total airhead. Literally. He's literally a total airhead. I'm watching the time, because I do want to show you guys a few things before we wrap up. But some cards that were mentioned was like the Ace of Swords. And there's all this symbol, like the symbols here. And then this spiral. What do you call this? So I have a stone that looks just like it. There's like these little, there's the infinity symbol, there's math equations, this is one of the symbols throughout the air suit. What is that? The crow? I think it's a crow. Wing thing, she says in her guidebook. So that's one of the cards that if you're struggling with, definitely pay close attention to when we're in the Swords week. Here is the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords. I almost feel bad showing the original one, but then on the other hand, I love it so much that I'm like, well, I want to show you guys. I feel bad because, it's not readily available for purchase. And then also because it's not I guess this is not Chris Ann's vision anymore for the Ten of Swords. But on the other hand, it is interesting to look at because look, on this one, you can see that she has a tattoo of the air symbol, air element. I don't know if I can get very close on here. I don't know if you can see it. Whereas here, I don't know if I see anything other than the words. I don't see a tattoo on her back. So some of those details like that were lost from what I could tell. Some people took issue with this particular Ten of Swords because they're like, this is not what I normally think of with the Ten of Swords. But there are some aspects to the Ten of Swords that I could see. The dawning of a new day, after a very troubling time, He's an airhead. thank you all for those explanations about the page because I was so confused, right? Like a few people were. You're not the only one, Patrice. Like, and I have to admit, sometimes I was like, when it would come up before that whole incident with my Zoom reading, I was like, oh, looks like a staircase. Yes, an endless staircase. All the endless thoughts that we sometimes have. I often see the birds in the source suit as the thoughts given wings. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. It's the wings. I was just associating it with like the air element, but you're right. Giving the thoughts the wings to fly. Do you see the crow in the air in the Ace of Swords? Yes. I want the original. Oh boy, am I going to kick off another short? I like it was like I just really, you know how I like to wear head wraps all the time. So I kind of saw me in it. So it's just like I took offense that people didn't like it. And they were like, she's a slave woman. I was like, what? I did not even see that. And I'm black or African American or what, I was like, I didn't even see that. I thought it was a modern day depiction. If anything, I thought it was like, oh, it's a woman who may have been dealing with human trafficking or something like that, or abuse, and she's overcoming it now. And, she's got scars and they're healing. They've been stitched up. She got scars on her back. Like, so, when you're thinking about the traditional Rider-Waite Smith with all those swords in the man's back as he's laid out and sprawled out on the ground, I thought this was a nicer depiction, but apparently not, because people were all up in arms over it. All up in arms. Yeah, I know. I know. That it needs to be discussed because I thought it was a brilliant depiction. So let's see. I'm a gentle version of the Ten of Swords. I prefer to the ones with blood running from the body. Exactly, right? I can understand that. Some images are too graphically violent for my taste. And now in this day and age, there's just so much graphic violence that it is sometimes nice to have a reprieve from it in our cards when we're working with the deck. And sometimes it could probably, I would imagine, be triggering for our clients or the people we read for, the querents. I can imagine that it might be triggering for some, who aren't really well versed with Rider-Waite Smith meanings. Yeah, she looks like she's been beaten. That's life, right? Exactly. Life, like beating you down, but she's standing up and she's healing and she's moving forward. That's why I really liked it. I suppose you could say maybe this is well after the fact. This is her after she started the healing process. She's the wounds have healed and now she's moving forward. That's what I get from this one. Yeah, I thought so too. I'm not gonna lie, I did. And I really campaigned for y'all. I did. I campaigned. I went on Instagram. I hardly ever go on Instagram. I was talking about it there. I did a video. I was in the Facebook groups. I was campaigning hard for it to remain, but I'm not the creator. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Diane. I'm glad I got the original too. In fact, it's like I need to start using it again. But I baby this green gildie so much that I don't really use this deck. Yes, all women have scars, emotional, mental, and physical. Don't you think? Yes, we all do. I like to think particularly women. We all do. We get backstabbed, stepped on, just life beating us down. And what do we need to do when we can't go on no more at that 10? That 10 is like endings, right? Well, it's time to pick yourself back up and get on and with that new beginning. The original Tenosaurus showed resilience, starting to heal. That's what I thought. I like that immediate get up. Like after the swords were in your back, she's up now. There's still some healing to do, but she's about to embark on a new beginning. That's what I thought. Yes, nice progression from 110 swords to the new one. That's right. That's right. I love the original. It's truth. This is life for most of us. It's exactly it. And sure, it's not like a bloody mess like you see with the Rider Waite Smith. I keep pointing. He's the Rider Waite Smith sitting over there. And I thought, well, with this, if this was in the mass market edition, I thought this would be a nice, when this showed up in a client reading, this is something we can really dig into and talk about. But this one is a softer blow, I guess you could say. But this isn't some of the points like hand in hand. They do. Let me see. Why? Hold on, kick me out. They do. I think so. Hence why it would have been cool to just let everybody have both. And then people could take out whichever one that they don't want to use, or they can use both. Yeah, I agree. I wasn't in the tarot world yet, so my voice wasn't in it. But Vernetta and I were both deeply touched by the original Ten of Swords. Hi, Vernetta. It carries such a strong message. I agree. Super strong. Hello. The nuance is that the person in the Ten of Swords. Hi, Tanya. The nuance is that the person in the Ten of Swords reads as a Black woman, and the scars on her back were reminiscent of the whippings enslaved Black women would get, and that should be acknowledged. You're right. Once someone explained it to me, then I was like, oh, okay, I can see that. But again, that wasn't my first impression. I didn't instantly go there. And I am a descendant of slavery, direct descendant. Like my mother was a little girl, and the last of the slaves, like her peoples, she remembers those peoples. They were alive when she was alive. That's how, closely connected. So it startled me for myself personally that I didn't see that initially. I saw it more from the woman's perspective of somebody being abused, but that could be because that's who I'm dealing with here and now when I'm dealing with clients, so I don't know. I get it though. And that's why Chris Ann is a class act, because she was like, if a few people or a lot of people, doesn't matter if they feel this way, I don't want my deck to be a trigger for them. And that's why I really, really respected her for that. I missed them. Did y'all discuss the tower? It's so different. Didn't discuss the tower. That is an interesting one. That is a different one. I need to go through this one if we have time. But we will be talking about it next week if you're part of the tarot study in the Facebook group, because I'm going to be posting pictures of it. That is a different one for sure. It's like a tree that's kind of splintered. Similar to, it is similar. The Ten of Swords, when she redid it, it did feel like just a different color in a different just kind of scene, but still the same thing of the Eight of Cups is also in this deck. So a woman walking away, walking towards the dawn. I get that. And not capitalize on, which is why it was mindful of the creator. That's exactly it. That's right. I like I said, she definitely should be respected for that. People were mad. People were mad that she took it out. People were mad she included it. It's one of those things where I empathize with the creator. Sometimes you can't win for losing. But the way she handled it, we could learn a lot from her. I wonder what the reason was in the choice, though. What supported the ones they chose? Are you talking about the Ten of Swords? Um, I don't think she just made it. She created, from my understanding, after the whole everyone was upset about the Ten of Swords, she went back to the drawing, literally the drawing board, drew it out, put it out, and then started sending out the cards to us. And I got the card in the mail. I don't even think I asked for it because I was like, I'm cool. I'm whatever. It is what it is. It was starting to turn me off to the deck entirely. I'll be honest, because whenever you start to have all this kerfuffle and stuff around a deck, it starts to be like, God, I don't even feel like working with it. But she sent it, and I was like, oh, she's so amazing. She sent it without us asking. So she went back and drew it, and she didn't get any input. What was interesting, though, she got input for the original Ten of Swords. Or she didn't invite for input, but she showed some of her artwork. And so some people were arguing, well, that would have been a nice time for someone to chime in when she was originally creating the deck, that they had a problem with it. So I could see the points of view from all sides. And like I said, I'm protective over her because I think she's an incredible person, but also I get it. Great idea. They should have included both tens. Well, guess that didn't happen. Like, it's also a more distant feeling card. Yeah, I agree. Yes, very, very similar to the Eight of Cups. It is. The reality is that the original Ten of Swords was not a melanated woman. I wish they had kept it or gave us the option to purchase the original. Yeah, and so she, to me, she looked like, you know how like sometimes they'll depict in art, like you can't quite tell what race or ethnicity she is. And I thought that was one of the cases. And when they were like, oh, it's a slave woman and she's got her, her dress, literally, I kid you not, like I probably had a look like this back when I was in high school, like a halter top, low back out, head wrap, because Erykah Badu, if you guys are from the States and you're into like neo soul music, like I was into that in the late 90s. That was me. So to me, I was like, oh, this is cool. And I've been here with scars on my back, scars on my belly when I fell on my face. But yes, I digress. I've gone on about it. The replacement card makes me think of the creator's pain over the pain of having to recreate the card, personal pain, and it was. And that was the gist that I got from it as well, if I'm to be honest, Patrice. Mind blown, of course. Yes, that makes sense. I agree. More of an Eight of Cups in the replacement card feels like a personal disappointment, turning her back on the pain. And that's literally what I got from her in her exchanges with me, as well as exchanges with other people during that time. And then when it finally came out, the second Ten of Swords, yeah, I was like, yeah. So, wow. I won't bore you guys too much. We had some other ones, but I'm just going to show you guys, and then for time's sake, because we've been on here a while. But I could discuss these cards all day with y'all, and that's why we're going to be doing that for 6 weeks. That's what we're going to be doing. So some people mentioned the Two of Swords. I like that on her arm. There's a tattoo of air elements right there with the balanced. She's blindfolded. I like that. Got these crows just crowing at her, and which direction do I go? Did she put the blindfold on willingly, or did the birds have something to do with tying her up? I just love it. Another one, someone mentioned about the blood splatter on the Five of Swords. What could that mean? And for me, I was like, a losing battle. No, I mean, even though there's a victorious person here in the background, are they really victorious? He's agonizing. possibly over the loss. And for me, I'm like, maybe he was the one that's bloody, the one that's victorious back there. So we'll be exploring that. King of Swords. This is another one. And Queen of Swords, particularly these two. Yes, Patrice, so the client can see the progression if that would help them. That's right. Oh, another folk who needs to go. Oh, I didn't mean to put them on timeout. I meant to get rid of them. So, yeah. Hope you guys are excited as I am. So when you are seeing these cards, when people are posting images, when we're like, okay, it's Swords Week or it's Cups Week, I hope that if you have a card that's challenging you, you put the card up there. Or if you know a card really well, you put that card up as well. That's going to be a little different than what I did in the Antique Anatomy Tarot study. In the Antique Anatomy Tarot study, I had posted all of the pictures over 56 days. I'm not going to do that. I'm only going to do the majors where I put up the pictures. But the subsequent weeks, it's going to be a collective effort. So we're going to be like, it's Wands week, so let's put up our wands. Try to pick cards that aren't represented so all of them can be there. I'll try to post pictures of ones that I don't see towards the end of the week that's been covered so we can make sure we have a more complete picture. But use this as an opportunity to say, I'm struggling with this card. What do you all think? And then I implore you all, if you have a moment or two, to comment. It doesn't have to be a long, detailed comment unless you want to. But a little comment. I'm just loving this chance to hang out with, thank you. I'm loving this chance to hang out with you guys. I'm like, literally, it's like summer camp for tarot readers, except it's virtual. And we get to have fun. Well, I'm happy you came. So I'm going to try to go back and timestamp this video. So that way, those who don't want to watch us chit-chat about the cards, y'all can just skip to the important parts. That's my plan. So let me show you guys a few things here. Let me show you some stuff while I have you here. Share your screen. First up, let me show you the log. Let me see how it looks on my end. Okay. Can I make it bigger? Yes, without me there. All right, so, oops, I'm all over the place. So it's self-paced, like I mentioned, consecutive 2-week commitment, but please go at your own pace. What I mean by consecutive is consecutive set like 14 days. So whenever you can commit to that is when you start the tarot study, okay? I created this little schedule and it is available for download on the blog post, which I'll show you, and all the links are going to be in the description box of this video. So you have week 1, which we are in. Let me see. Opening day live stream, so you can click that as done. Then you have, let me make sure you guys can see me. Make sure. Oh, no, sorry. I want to make sure you see me somewhere. Why is it like that? There we go. Oops. I'm all over the place. So I have it shaded over here. The 2 and 3 week, or the 2nd and 3rd week is the commitment time, whenever you start this, okay? But it's all self-paced here. Notice that, self-paced. So we have weekly tarot journal prompts, post, if you are so inclined, your journal prompt thoughts that came up for you in the Facebook group. Who's honking like a crazy person? Pick a spread. So, guidebook. Now, let me say this. You can use any spread, and people do create their own spreads during tarot study, or they use their own spreads from another guidebook. That's okay. I am going to be using the spreads found in the guidebook and may do a quick short video or just a quick tutorial with my thoughts about what came up in the cards. And I'm going to be using whatever comes up with these spreads in the readings that I do as jumping off points for creating the journal prompts. I like to just kind of just have it all encompassing, if that makes any sense. I like it all to kind of tie in together. There's some great spreads. There's the light and shadow spread, easy peasy. You could do this daily. You could say for today, what is the light and shadow of the day, or whatever, you know, light. So you got your light and then your shadow. You got light worker illumination spread, deepening connection spread, calling in love spreads, soul joy spread. So you've got a spread a week in here. That's cool. That's cool. Post your readings to Facebook group and use the hashtag Seer's Tarot Study. Include your pictures, your insights, or your predictions. Okay? Who's making all that noise out there? I'm very sensitive to noise today, apparently. Post 1 to 3 times per week on the majors daily. So if you'll notice, there is majors, that's week 2, week 3, it's all pretty similar. Week 3 is the wands, week 4, cups, week 5, swords, week 6 is pentacles, and week 6 is going to be pretty light. I'm not going to do any journal prompts. I'm only going to do like journal prompts for weeks 2, 3, 4, 5. You guys can feel free to carry on and do them as much as you want. So the week 6 will be pretty light. Let's see what else. And we'll have a wrap party probably sometime in early to mid-April. I'm thinking like April 7th, April 7-ish is what I'm thinking. All right, moving on, making sure you guys can see me. Let me see, is it showing? No, it's not. Let me now share with you. Let me stop share. And I'm going to share the website. So now this is my website. I'm going to make sure I keep the tarot study information updated here. Yay, this is where you guys suggest. You make your suggestions for tarot study, and I come and it collects all this information, and I go and use it for inspiration for our polls. So there's that. But if you keep scrolling, you're going to find a lot of good information about the most current tarot study that we're on. And if you go down, we've got the Antique Anatomy Tarot Study. The Hoodoo is down here somewhere. There you are. There you are. And videos that are there to help. I think the Herb Crafters might be up there. I don't know. No, I think it just goes back to the Hoodoo Tarot Study. But in the let me go here. Here is where you're going to find your, and I might save it in the Facebook group too, where you can get to our little thing, our little schedule, our thing. So you'll be able to get it there. What else? If you want to do it on Instagram, tag it, hashtag Seer's Tarot Study. There's a playlist for just our tarot study videos. That's there. So all this is going to be updated in the tarot study part, but I also just did a blog today. I also encourage you all to sign up for my newsletter or subscribe. You can do it here, or subscribe to my blog so that way you stay in the loop of what comes out, particularly like the content that I create for it. Or if I'm putting journal prompts here and you're not really feeling like being on Facebook today, you'll be able to just go to the site and be able to get that information. And you'll know, because you'll be in the know, because that's how I'll communicate those things to you outside of social media. Okay. And then last, so that's the website. There I am. Now let's get out of there. Let me stop sharing, and I'm going to share with you the Facebook group. Let me go to the Facebook group though, so you don't see my messy main page here. Okay, share screen, Chrome, Facebook group. Okay, here we are. Yay, there we are again. So I'll be pinning things at the top here. So important things for our tarot study will be pinned to the top. Like instructions for those who are new to this particular tarot study, you'll know to just go to the top of Facebook group and you'll see it. Look over here. There's topics in the group. So look, remember when I was saying about the Hoodoo Tarot Study group having 404 posts? That's how much we loved it. That tells you how much. The Antique Anatomy Tarot Study had 121 posts, and the Herb Crafters Tarot Study group had 58 posts. And there's other topics here, but that hashtagging is what keeps everything tight and together, so we know where to go. So like if I'm like, I want to get back into the Hoodoo Tarot Study, let me click on that, and it takes us to all the posts that we had here. Oh look, it's one of my posts. Ooh, go with Jack in the big house. Ooh, and I used my little magical dice with it, my divinatory dice. So all sorts of stuff. So the Facebook group is where we're going to primarily be our work for this tarot study. I find it easiest for me after doing 3 other tarot studies. This is the easiest to be able to congregate and to do the work and keep it confined to one space. I tried doing it on Instagram, didn't work out for me. I tried doing it only on YouTube, that certainly didn't work out, but this seems to work. So we're going to keep going. So yeah, that's it. Let me go back here. Let me stop sharing the screen and see if you guys have any questions. Okay, let me see. This seems like a great group. I look forward to interacting with everyone. And it is a great group. You guys are amazing. A lot of my friends, my tarot friends are in there. And of course, we're great people. But no, it's a great group of people, super helpful. If somebody has a question, someone always willing to chime in and answer. And if you come to a tarot study that's late, like let's say you call to do the Antique Anatomy Tarot, but we're working on the Light Seers, you still can do that. And there's still going to be those of us who want to chime in and help you with that or engage with you as you're doing the tarot study. Each of the tarot study has that schedule that I showed you. So when you go to my ALT Tarot Study tab in my website, you'll be able to find that information, download the schedule, and make it your own. People were downloading the schedule, printing it, and putting it into their journals. Like I keep a journal, like a planner, not journal, I guess a journal or a planner. So people were printing it and making their own. I kind of rushed through, but I leave a space on there. You can add a row too, like if other activities you're doing that's not included, you can make it your own as well. And I think the other component is that it was a seemingly appearing white woman who created it. Yeah, that's true. I didn't think much of it at first, but then when I dug into it within myself and my ancestry, yes, oh, she has a second part. I understood the Protestants more. It was a form of decolonizing myself and understanding why it could be so triggered. Exactly. And she seemed to understand that better than me as a woman of color. So I hear you on that. I do hear you on that. I feel you on that. Because, I mean, I could see that. I could see how it could look like that. Like there's a seemingly white woman who created this card and, it looks like lashings on the back. I could see that. The deck is beautiful, and it had many kerfuffles. I remember the mass market cards. Oh gosh, yeah, that was that bigger than the Ten of Swords? Because for me, that was super impactful. I was mad at Hay House, not her, not Chris Ann, but Hay House. I was like, how dare you? Dare you? You know better than to do this deck like that. Oh, Myrna, I'm so happy you're excited. I'm excited too. I think you're going to have a great time. I think it's going to make for a different kind of experience because many of us love this deck so much, use it a lot. It's going to feel a little different than when we were working with some of the other decks that we don't really work with. I'm curious to know from some of you on some of the other decks, like the Herb Crafters, the Hoodoo Tarot, and the Antique Anatomy. How are you getting along with it now that it's been quite a bit of time since we did the tarot study? Or have you been using it? I mean, I still use the Antique Anatomy and the Hoodoo because I use those. I use the Antique seemingly during the autumn season. Anyways, Hoodoo, I have a specific spiritual practice. I used it for the Hoodoo Tarot. Herb Crafters, I think I need to start. I think I need to go back and start looking at some of my old videos to get inspired to reconnect with it again. So yeah. Yay, I'm so excited you're joining. I'm so excited for all of you all joining. I'm so grateful because you guys make this so special. Yeah, I put it together and I make sure I'm here to answer the questions and be the one to kind of move this thing along. But it's the participants who are engaging with each other, who are showing and telling with their images, who are doing the spreads, who are showing us new spreads or giving us a newer, deeper understanding of a card. It is you all that makes that happen. And to that end, just, no pressure, but have fun with it. Have fun, learn. This is for new and seasoned readers. New readers, I'm hoping you gain something from this. You don't be shy asking questions. Don't think that it's like, oh, silly. No, because sometimes in your questions, I learn something. Seasoned readers, enjoy, have fun, use a deck. If you don't want to use the Light Seers, use another deck. You don't have to use this deck. Okay, I think it's going to be fun. I love this deck too. I love the antique, but the cards are flimsy. They could have improved the cards. Like, exactly. I had 2 copies. I ended up selling the flimsy stock like a few months ago, back when I was in the States. Those super, super thin stock that when the mass market edition first came out. I got the next one, but then I wasn't keen on how easily the cards chipped. It was a thicker stock, but they seemed to chip more. So I was like, goodness, you can't win. We can start posting today. I am going to start starting up the majors, but you can post, you can start doing your spreads, you can start doing whatever. You can start today. You got your handy dandy tracking schedule log. You can start today. People last time with the antique, they were starting like the same day we did the kickoff. I was like, I'm not even ready yet, but people started. So yes, good question. After I'm done here, I'm gonna start up like scheduling those majors. I already took the pictures of them. Anyways, I'm going on and on. Hoodoo is still a great love when it's easier to use my decks. We will be close again. Exactly. I know what you mean too, Myrna. I got you. I know. Yeah, it is a great deck. It's an absolutely fabulous deck. I'm glad we did the tarot study on that one. It was a deep tarot study too. Some of the, like I said, some of the things that were coming up in our posts, wow, a treasure. Would you kindly put all the links in your website, etc., in the description for the video? I sure will. Thank you. I will definitely do that. So it's I'm going to try to make it as easy as possible for you guys to find all your resources. So I just finished the tracking log last night, so I didn't get a chance to put the link, but I'll do that as soon as we're done. So that way you can easily come there or go to the site or go to the Facebook group and be able to find it easily. But it's probably easier on this video since this is our what? Our kickoff. Our tarot study kickoff. Well, you guys, I've kept you long enough, haven't I? Thank you. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for doing this tarot study and past tarot studies with me. If you have any questions, definitely let me know. You can let me know in the comments section of this video below. Definitely check out that new channel, Scholar Bot Tarot. Link is in the description box already. Got to give a shout out because I'm excited for the content that channel is producing. And if you're in the Facebook group, you can tag me. That way I'll get a notification if you have a question or you want me to see something in there. Don't hesitate. Or if you really, something's going on and I'm not responding fast enough, you can email me at abundantlifetarot@gmail.com. But during tarot study time, I'm in the group, okay, unless something is happening out here, like a long-ass power outage or something. So yeah. Thank you. It's my little labor of love. It's my gift to the community, because so much of the content creators, they put out stuff too that is like a gift, and it's helpful to all of us, and it just helps us to fall in love with the decks that we already own. So, and I love community. I love fellowship with like-minded souls. So why not? Oh, thank you, Patrice. I appreciate you saying that. Bye, everyone. Thank you, MA. You've been right here with me. Oh, yay. I'm glad you found my live. Yes. And if you guys would be so kind as to like the video, I always forget to say this, so that way it pushes this particular video up in the algorithm so other people can participate in the tarot study. That would be most appreciated. Well, that's it for now, folks. Enjoy. See you all around. Stay tuned for more videos pertaining to the court cards, and see you all in the Facebook group. Take very good care. And like the Oracle Throne says, everyone, please be safe. Please take good care of yourselves. See you all in the next video.